What does the average person not know about the CIA?
Oh, dude, just
That it's 100% run by not from the Third Reich. So it's the Fourth Reich. It was literally made for the Nazis to hide them. That's what it was for. That's exactly what it's for. That's what Mossad is for too. Mossad is also to hide Nazis.
The story that they sold us, that was definitely a lie.
100%.
You know, going into Iraq because of 12 Saudis makes no sense. The weapons of mass destruction, that was all a lie.
The anthrax was fabricated.
All of that was so
By Joseph Mengele.
we have to look into 9/11 because that was the catalyst that
Ian Carroll knows that, but he's hiding that because he's probably his fucking uncle.
I really think people underestimate how huge that is, because if you understand that Israel did 9/11, then your entire worldview should shift.
Yeah.
That was the catalyst that changed America's perception of the Middle East for years. It changed what we thought about foreign policy, what we thought about enemies.
Yep.
And now when you realize that it was internal and they lied about it, they intentionally killed 3,000 American civilians in order to go into war in the Middle East, your entire worldview should change.
How could anyone justify doing that, right? And so sometimes you have to like step back and put yourself in their shoes and think it through. Is like, if you're a Dick Cheney, if you're a Netanyahu, if you're these people in power, it's like, can you imagine that you might look at the geopolitical space in the world and say, like, there's so much evil in this world, and there's this rising threat in the Middle East, like Arab nationalism, like the global economic, like everything is complicated. And if we don't create a good strategy to defend Western values, we could be looking at millions of American deaths, right? We could be looking at like a Muslim wave of jihad that would take it, like, and so if you can construct that.
Yeah, Arab nationalism. Yeah. Like, dude, you're advocating for white nationalism. That's weird. At least they're in their fucking country. And, dude, I can't blame them. Look at what we have been doing to them for the last 100 years. We go over there and can steal their oil every goddamn 10 years. We're literally doing, stop hating yourself like the mean older brother.
That narrative in your mind, which Israel is very fond of constructing. Like, Israel is very aware that they hate Arabs and Muslims.
Oh, yeah.
And so there are
Israel is just America, and America is just not.
Ways that you can justify it, and in your own mind, if you're a Dick Cheney,
because they're trying to separate. They're trying to be like, well, Israel's just doing whatever Israel wants to do, and it's because they're Jewish, and they're killing everyone because they're Jewish. But no, it's because they're Nazis and they're doing what America wants them to do. But the end play here is that the Nazis escape persecution once again. By persecution, I mean they escape the consequences of their actions because they're setting this up to all be put on Jewish people and not America. But it's fucking America, dude.
or if you're a George Bush, if you're a, whatever Israeli people were behind this, they can come to a worldview where it's justifiable to kill a few thousand Americans in order to save so many more, from a greater threat.
It's crazy what you're saying, but it's true, man. It's so insane what you're saying, but I think it's true.
Yeah, Ian conflates Jewish people with Zionists. And dude, even Jake doesn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jake doesn't, it feels like Jake knows that it's Zionism and he keeps going back to Zionism. But I think that Ian, and this is the way they want to muddy the water. He isn't saying Jewish people over and over. He said it right at the top, super hard, right? Like, so regular people who are watching this whole time, this whole hour and 5 minutes, they're thinking, oh yeah, it's the Jewish people, Jewish people, Jewish people. They say another bad thing. They say 9/11. Oh yeah, it was the Jewish people too. Yeah. It's Zionists. And that's what Ian wants to confuse the most. He wants everyone to think Jewish people when they should be thinking Zionists, right?
But in all my content, I try to put my sources on the screen directly while I'm talking with like the URL or the titles so that anyone can just Google what I'm looking at and find it for themselves, because the whole point is that media is controlled by certain groups.
Yeah.
And,
Jews.
yeah, well, yeah, Israel. And if they don't,
Jake Shields, we liked you for a minute, buddy.